Two men stopped me and asked me, "Are you Chinese?" After I said yes, they followed me until I arrived at Chinatown. And then one of them rushed to me throwing a bottle of liquid in my face, which was acid. The police said this kind of crime had been happened a lot recently. I was diagnosed with dissociative amnesia. I don't want to recall that what happened that day, ever.
468! Stop the violence! Stop the hate! 468! Stop the violence! Stop the hate!
We are loud and we are proud and we stand as one.
Are you proud to be Asian?
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
I know who I am and I'm proud of it.
I'm tired of being quiet and I'm tired of feeling weak.
Keep calm and carry on is killing us.
Racial discrimination are anything but a new phenomenon in the UK. However, the situation became worse since 2020. With the outbreak of coronavirus, it sees a sharp rise in Asian hate crimes. Verbal abuse.
They kept shouting at us like, "You, don't stare me like that."
Attack.
They get out of the car, attack me on the ground.
Harassment.
曾经有过42个男人一起吃饭，集体不给我钱。
Inequity.
The Chinese community or the Southeast Asian community in this country it doesn't have an area of residence where there's a large number that can affect politically.
I don't think that people live in England will feel safe. It was 23rd of February. I went outside for jogging at around 4 p.m. So when I was just 1 minute walk from my home, there was a car which is in the opposite direction of the road. And there was a man who opened the window and shouted at me saying like, "F you, Chinese," racial slurs like this. I realized it was a racist attack, so I shouted back. So when I turned left, then appallingly they circled back. So I got very, very angry. I approached the car and shouted to the person. I said, "Why you shout at me and get out of the car?" And then they attacked me on the ground.
The racial discrimination in the UK is part of the hate crime, and it is illegal. The law and legislation are well established. The Criminal and Disorder Act that was introduced and increased the highest period of punishment from 7 years to 14 years. Then the Equality Act in 2010. It covers everyone in the UK and protects people from discrimination, harassment, victimization, and including the racial prejudice.
So far, 2 men had been arrested and the inquiries are ongoing. At the meantime, Dr. Peng Wang chose to tell the media about his suffering by himself, expecting to raise people awareness of dealing with hate crime.
As I said, this is not the first time, that happened in Southampton. So something has to be done to address this issue.
Fucking everyone out! Call me everyone out! Police! Call the police! Call the police! Call the police! Get out of there! Call the police! Call the police! Okay. Call the police now!
With the start of COVID-19 pandemic, there were at least 267 offenses against Asian people in the first 3 months of 2020, compared with 375 hate crimes in the whole year of 2019 and 316 in 2018.
United Nations have called this a tsunami of hate and xenophobia. When the YouGov poll did their survey, it found that the Chinese and Southeast Asian community is the largest section of people suffering race hate in this country. That 76% of Chinese people felt that they had suffered more than one incident, and 64% said they had suffered multiple incidents. In the last year, we are an advocacy group, a campaigning group, the monitoring group. We've had, since coronavirus March last year to this year, over 3,000 cases. 20% of them are people from Southeast Asian, Chinese background. That's a large number of people.
COVID, the Chinese virus,
The China virus.
Kung flu.
The racist stereotype spreading all media platforms after the ex-US President Donald Trump publicly named the COVID-19
Chinese virus
more than 20 times in March 2020.
All it does is gives people a reason and an excuse because a political leader has done it, and therefore it is okay for all of us to do it as well. And it's very easy to make Chinese and East and Southeast Asian people the scapegoats.
We've also noticed that there is quite a few disproportionate uses of ESEA faces. Not a Western face was used in COVID-related media. Then, she started to email those media to complain it, and some articles got changed, but some didn't.
The assistant reader from The Guardian, David Whitfield, where he basically denied that this was a problem and that it's not a disproportionate use. He admitted in one of his emails that they could easily change the image, but they wouldn't want to do this. It basically got me so angry that I decided to start this petition and just wanted to raise awareness about it.
This government, they seem to choose to turn a blind eye to some people's human rights.
Sarah Owen, the first female MP of Chinese descent, took the petition and held the first ever debate in Parliament to discuss the racism discrimination experienced by the ESEA community in the UK.
But I was gutted, absolutely heartbroken, that on the government side opposite me, there wasn't a single Conservative MP who turned up, apart from the minister who had to be there. And that is shameful.
Do you have each other's back today?
Yes!
Will you have each other's backs tomorrow?
Yes!
If you see something, will you help us?
Yes!
Lucian joined the UK's first largest Asian-oriented demonstration to call to stop Asian hate on 10th July. A lot of grassroots organizations came and gave a speech to force the government to address racism-related problems.
And that's what we demand is done by the government and by the people in the media who have power. To stop using their words in a way that harms us and our community, to stop painting a false narrative about us and about our community and our culture. I've done this for the next generation. If we don't make noise, we can't be heard.
Seems because of a smaller percentage of population that the Chinese community is not passionate, but throughout my life and throughout the work I've done from at least 1980, and there's a long history of Chinese and Southeast Asian communities in this country also fighting against racism. If you don't claim our history and understand the present, then the history will claim us like it claimed our ancestors. Our resistance will be forgotten.
I can clearly remember, after the attack, right? So the police officers increased the frequency of patrolling cars around this area. So every time I go outside, I can see a police car.
I heard a news professor in Southampton, after he was attacked by a few people, he chose to tell the media and share his experience on social media. I was encouraged by him. A police shared information with me. He told us they rarely received a report from East and Southeast Asia, and it's really shocked me because many of my friends have been through the same situation.
Because the perpetrator, they're picking up the Chinese because they know the Chinese won't report. So this is bad. That's why it's going a circle in the vicious circles. So we should stand up. Actually, when I talk to the victims and talk to the police, they about 20 plus cases. We have to redo each of them to write their statement to record the incident as a hate crime. So this is important. That's why I think we need to educate our people. Anything happen to you should report.
We need to stop letting society expect us to be underestimated and overlooked.
We are taking action to make that change now. We are either not getting taken seriously by the police, not reporting them out of fear, or we are dead. Everything that is worthwhile is done with others. Seeing as I'm here today makes me feel so proud and accepted and empowered.
What do we want? When do we want it? Now!
I may be the first and the only ESEA woman in that place, but I do not want to be the last.
Detect Asian Live!
I wish you and all those celebrating across the globe a happy and prosperous Lunar New Year. Kung hei fat choi.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson has sent his wishes to everyone celebrating Chinese New Year in 2021, but more work has to be done than just words.
I believe a positive sign is that more and more Asian people they stand up. So I believe previously image of Asian people is that they are very silent. So they just want to keep themselves away from these sort of things. But currently, obviously, more and more people they realize that they should stand out. They should voice themselves. So it's definitely a very positive sign. So I believe that the more that we united, the stronger that we are.
Remember, when reporting any incidents, it is not just what police can do for you, but it's a number added up to the national statistic. Is when this number reaches the significance, the politicians and parliament will have to do something.
I come from a generation, we went out on the streets in the 70s, we fought. I was stabbed. I was part of the South Hall Youth Movement. We struggled, we fought against police racism and against skinheads on the streets.
So if you study at the university, report to the security department. They will pass your case to the victim support. So you need to talk through things, share with others, not suffer in silence.
I definitely think from my own perspective, we have seen more and more groups of people forming together and working as coalitions together to create some noise and raise a voice.